we're seeing and living out an erosion of just society in general, and almost in every aspect is not too unlike what we hear about the elements. That the elements are crying out. For people who are students of scripture, in Romans 8 says that whole creation is groaning in expectation for the sons of God, for the people of God to be revealed, and that's a very timely passage.
In today's discussion, Glenn emphasizes the critical need for our society to return to compassion, uphold moral values, and reconnect with God. Tune in now to discover rock-solid principles that can enrich both your career and spiritual journey.
With there's almost on every side and every front of all elements in society. You see what we're told. You see that there's the elements, earthquakes, famines, pestilence, wars. And you hear about societal issues as well. But I believe that a good bit of this is symptomatic of the underlying. It's almost like the body. There's something underlying. There's something that's speeding it, and it's I would like to suggest, which is why I mentioned new wine. It's our departure from our first love, if you will. It was our departure from truth, or as in the book of Romans, it said they exchanged the truth for the lie. And there's a chapter in the book also speaking about the lie. But with respect to what's going on in our world, I think the greatest dynamic probably is social media that has just really shifted and changed. It's almost like what we call a game changer. The mere fact that information at the rate that it can go out, and the speed and the depth and the breadth is just unfathomable. And so now anybody can say anything to at any time. You really don't even, it doesn't matter what your values are. It doesn't matter even here. You just say whatever you want to, and it just goes out into the world. And you have so many voices, so many voices. And so then the question is, what is truth? Somebody asked that years ago too, by the name of Pilate, when they said, what is true? And prior to Pilate, it was asked in the book of Exodus when he said, who is God, that I should listen to him? And so those questions are very relevant in today, and new wine was intended to at least help everyone who's perhaps struggling or want to ask but haven't asked. I remember once, not long ago, a very well known, popular figure. He's considered the GOAT in football, so you could figure that who that might be, the GOAT. And he said on one of his podcasts, it was profound. He's not a believer. He said nobody knows what's right or wrong anymore. I couldn't believe I recorded it, because I said finally somebody's confessed from from a non-believer standpoint that we don't know what's right or wrong, but there is a right and wrong, and so new wine was intended to usher in what, as Scripture says, is not a new command in First John, but it's a new command, but it's the same command. And so the new wine was intended to help us begin to think back to back to your future, and in that regard, and to think about where we are, how we got here, and then how do we get back to our senses.